YouTube? We're going to do another update here. We're going to do a wall build in this Jeep. I'm going to be probably posting videos pretty often. I'm going to do it similar to the one in my Jeep back here, which if you guys haven't seen it for a while, I just put these subs in today. There's just some special 18s I'm going to be playing around with. I'm not going to really talk about what they are, but these are temporary until I can get my DCs. And then they also supplement / replace my HTC 318s that I just had reconed. These are kind of just SPL right now, so I'm not really playing music with them. So I pulled them out, and I'm going to put them aside for a while. And then that's that. We're going to be doing wall build in this. So we're going to show you how to build a wall, honestly. I do have a lot of videos on my wall posted. As you can see, it turned out pretty decent here. I'm still playing around with it, but it gets pretty loud. If you haven't seen my videos, go check that out. But the general idea of our kind of wall, what I believe to be a wall, is a lot of people just slide a big box in and call it a wall. But we actually believe in doing frame. You actually frame the wall into the car, and it's a proper way of doing it. So I'm going to kind of show you the process. The first real thing I've decided to do is, figure out what the customer wanted for the seat as far back, and then basically slid it back all the way even farther so that we could ensure that it was going to be far back enough. And then stacked up my baffle thickness, because I know I have baffles going to stack, and lined it up with the back of the seat so that the seat touches the baffle only in the farthest back position, and then mark on the floor what I want to do. So what I did was I'm going to do 4 baffles on this that are going to extend off the frame. It's going to have 5 baffles, but I'll have to later explain where that goes. But 4 thick, and then that goes up and it barely touches the back of the seat here. And so I mark my line. This line tells me where I want to build my frame, and I'll show you kind of what that's going to end up looking like too. You also can see how I did it on my Jeep. But we build the frame based on that line all the way back from there, and then that's where you build your shell. You line that with the birch or the MDF wood, and then later throw the baffles on the front of it. So we'll go ahead and get some work done on this thing. It's going to be a little bit tricky because the B-pillar placement is farther forward than was in my Jeep, where I was really lucky to have the B-pillar exactly where I was putting my baffle. So we'll see. But if you guys like my wall, stay tuned, because we're going to have another wall somewhat similar, but it's going to be running 2 Sundown Team Series 18s, which are sitting over here in these boxes. And maybe I can get one of them open. The Sundown Team 18. As you can see there. Sorry about the lighting, it's a little dark in here. But there's a team. We'll pull those out of the box later on. But anyway, that's that. So we're gonna get started on this thing. Keep watching, and we'll keep you updated. So still working on the wall. I did get my Jeep put back together yesterday, like I said earlier, and played it a little bit today, and that thing gets nasty. Super nasty. Anyway, right now we're working on this Jeep. It's the I believe it's a 98 Grand Cherokee with the 4-liter, and we're doing the wall for 2 18s. As you can see, I'm kind of building up the frame. If this looks familiar, then it should, because this is what I was doing in my Jeep. Only difference with this one is it's a little bit more roomy, so I get some more height and some more width out of this. So my basic thing going on here is this is the beginning of the frame. And you can see here this box, completely square box, we call that the picture frame, where I have these 2 main beams, a roof beam and a floor beam, and I just start bringing the frame back up from there. If you also notice, this frame is on an angle up to the back, so we can get a little more space out the front for the baffle. It gives us more room to play with sub position and everything. So now the next step is I've pretty much established the main width and the height and what the floor can do. And now I also know that my width is corresponding with the wheel wells. That's how I usually do it. I don't even waste my time going over them because I have enough room otherwise. And then the roof is somewhat established. I pretty much will just run it right off the top of this. So the only thing I don't have is depth, and the depth is fully adjustable. I can go back as far as I need in order to have enough cubes for the subs. Keeping in mind that I'm running, or this will be running, 2 Sundown Team 18s, which are in those bottom boxes. The Team Series 18s on about 15K. You know, after after voltage drop and box rise, it'll probably be closer to 10K or so, but we're assuming 15K, 2 Sundown teams. And I'm thinking I'm going to do this at about 20 cubes net, or you know, the box before anything's put in it. And that leaves room for about 5.5 cubes of port and about 0.6 cubes of sub. I'm thinking these are almost 0.3 each. So 20 cube enclosure, narrow down to about 14.5 after everything's in it. Tuned to about 29 hertz, 28 hertz is kind of what I'm thinking. So I want to use, I already calculated the room I want, and I used Trimble SketchUp in order to kind of model what I have going on already, and then adjust the model until I have enough cubes inside my modeled box after I count the thickness of the sheets and all the random displacements. So I'm shooting for 20 cubes. Shouldn't be too hard to kind of just run it through the computer and decide. So it's part of my process. I also design a lot of boxes. If you guys need box design, you can always hit me up. I charge 30 a box, and for ported. I don't really do a lot of the other stuff. I specialize in ported a lot, but I can do other things if needed. Anyway, so I treat the wall just the same as any other box, just knowing that I have established width and height, and I just have to have adjusted depth. So shooting for 20 cubes should get down pretty good. I just tuned the Jeep with its new speakers down to 29 hertz, and I really like that tuning. It's a really good spot because it plays down to about 18 or 19 hertz all the way up to maybe 50 hertz at the most, so it has a pretty good range. And these being team subs, they're just low end pounders. They're not going to be going crazy on the meter or anything, you know, so they're just going to be demo. So we'll tune it low and then have enough blocks there for it. So I'm going to go ahead, get on the computer and kind of calculate where everything needs to end up going, and I don't think I'm going to have to go back too much further, just judging on my wall. I might even just be able to end it almost right there. So that leaves him quite a bit of storage back here. He's got tons of storage, which is pretty cool, a lot more than my Jeep, but granted this is a lot larger vehicle. As you can see, just a work in progress Jeep here for Craig. He's a local that is ready to start getting into this thing serious, so it's gonna be, this thing's gonna be pretty stupid, honestly. It's gonna be really crazy. So we'll build it right. And the whole purpose of this frame is to help seal from the front to the back of the car. So my next step after deciding how far back to do the box, I'll probably start this tomorrow, but I'm gonna seal to the B-pillar here to this beam. So I'm probably gonna stack 2x4s out this way until I get kind of close, and then I'll do my sealing. If you guys don't remember, what I normally do is I get pieces of sheet metal and I screw them around and silicone them to this B-pillar completely, and then I fold them over and screw them to whatever beam or the 2x4s I set up. And those, if I have a short enough span, because if I build up enough with the 2x4s this way, short enough span that the metal becomes pretty rigid that way, and you trim it and fold it however you need, and then spray foam behind it, and then sound deadener, seal it in, and it makes a really good weather tight, waterproof, airtight seal, you know, whatever, you know, nothing's going to get through it. And on the roof here, I've already started the first seal, just putting this silicone stuff up there. And it's not some regular silicone, it's, the stuff kicks ass. It will never come off. It's the Loctite PL-S30. I used this on every build I've ever done for years now, and this stuff is badass. Like, it's the most messy, stinky, hard stuff to work with, but once it's dry, it's not coming off. There's no way. And I have that set up in my car, and you can watch the roof flex in mine, and the roof flex stops exactly where my beam is. Like, from there back, there's nothing. So I know it's doing the job. And then to help ensure that it's sealed, I'm going to do spray foam behind it on the upper half of my frame when I put that in, and you know, some sound deadener wrap it on there just to ensure. And then the baffles themselves kind of will help seal, because I get, you know, I make them contour the car pretty well. And then he puts his headliner on, and we're good to go. So that's a little rundown of what we're looking at right now. This is how I build a wall. I believe it's one of the better ways to do it, and I've never had any problems. So just keep tuned, because the Jeep's going to get some demo videos put up. I have a show I'm going to pretty soon, a car show, so it's always fun to go to those, because people who haven't ever seen bass get pretty amazed. And honestly, where the Jeep is right now and the power I'm running, it's louder than it's been ever. I don't know why, but it's just insane, and it's surprising me even. So stay tuned for some videos on that thing. It's actually sitting outside getting soaked right now, and I hope my windows are up. But get this door open. There she is. So finished product for the wall ends up looking something similar to this. As you can see here, mine's not finished because it's kind of chopped up and ugly, but you know, it's always a work in progress. But this one should be pretty nice. So we'll keep you guys updated. This is just kind of the first segment / update for the channel and my life and this Jeep. I've been working really hard. As far as the rest of the updates, I got a girlfriend recently, and she likes stereos, which obviously would be part of my criteria. And so we decided she wanted a stereo. So we're going to throw her in 2 DC audio level 212s on a 1.2K here pretty soon. So can't really see them, but it's DC audio, so you know, I had to go with DC. And there's a lot of you who don't like DC, and I'm sorry, I like DC. So to each is their own. I don't brand bash, so lay off the comments, I guess. So anyway, that should get kind of loud. Hopefully get into 140s or so, maybe like a 42 out of it. Her car's kind of goofy, so we'll see what it likes on the meter. This is my sound cubed, one of them, that I got reconed with Sundown parts and Team Ultra Audio parts also. So I run a lot of brands, so you know, it is what it is. Tell you what, that the DC audio though, it's been good to me. Like the amplifier, I can't believe that thing. That thing is just insane. I'm so hard on my system, and yet it just keeps hanging. So we'll do good. All right, guys, long video, but lots to say. All right, so a little more progress. See that side's open like that? The big old gap between the beam and the B-pillar. Well, that needs to be sealed in order to keep the air from moving around. So I already finished this side. Kind of looks like this. Completely sealed. There's no way air is going to get through this. I mean, it is completely tight to the gaskets of the car and the B-pillar. And then inside, it's been reinforced with 2x4s all the way down. And then it's sealed like this all the way around with the sheets. I'm going to put some more trim pieces in and clean this up. Gonna make it look a little nicer. But there's that. So I just gotta try to duplicate that. I think I'll do that tomorrow. But solid as fuck. Like, not gonna go anywhere. So that's cool. And I think what I'll do is put some sound deadener on top of this to make it look kind of cool. So anyway, that side's sealed up. So now we can just start bringing our frame back and then line the sheets of birch, and the whole thing will be sealed.
To see more great videos, hit that subscribe button. You can also find me on Google+, follow me on Instagram, and join the all-new Facebook page to keep up with all things cars.
I got brick fat on me right now, and I blow 40 rack stuff down in my denim, my blow. Take a grandma cushion, roll it in.